Hi there, everyone. Welcome to our Java tutorial. For today, I am going to discuss to you a basic input-output in Java. So, without further ado, let's go and create a class. Let's say for an instance, we will name our class as basic input output. Yeah, input output. Yeah, output. Okay, so here. All right. So basically, previously we have been discussing about the basic construct of Java, the rules, the syntax, the different data types, and also we discuss about variables, the types of variables, so on and so forth. Now, this for this one, we are now going uh, to apply all those concepts and all those that we have learned previously. So we are now going to take input from the user and we are going to process those inputs from the user. Of course, we would like our programs to be in that if it has that capability. So it's not something like you have here, let's say num1 is equal to 5, num2 is equal to 8, and then you just do something like uh, the sum is something like uh, num1 plus num2. But of course, you like to have it as getting input from the user, and then it will give an output to the user. Okay, so but before that, let's have an output statement. So what are the output statements of Java? So output statements of Java are system that these are console-based uh, programming. So a system that print. So it has actually three. Three types. There is this what we call print. I don't know if I'm correct if it's type, but it's format. I mean, it's there are actually three ways to format your output. So you can use the print. Let's say hello, okay, and then all throughout we are going to use print statement like hello world, I love Java so much. Okay, if we are going to run the program, we would have a display and output like this hello with concatenating world. It also concatenate I love so much. So if ever you, of course, if you don't like that to happen, like you want this to be like to be separated, you do like this, but it doesn't make sense if like you're going to print them in a per line manner. You can actually do this one, either put a backslash n after each and every statement. So backslash n means you are actually displaying the your output in a every single it's per line of statement. Okay, so meaning next line of statement. So hello, next line of statement world, next line of statement I love Java, next line of statement so much. But in Java, if you don't want to use backslash n, you can actually use a something like println. So it's not print in, so others would read it as print in, but it's actually ln. So ln means line, it's actually print line. So it's a print line statement. Happened to my screen. Seems like anyway. So print meaning it's print line instead of using backslash n. You can actually use print line to display your output in a per line manner. Okay, so that's for print line. So again, print and print line, the only difference is that print will display the text. You can use backslash n. So print line means instead of using backslash n, by this simply displaying this one per line per statement, you can use print line, and also you can use backslash n along with print line. So the also point it can be before the word or after the word, anything you would like to, anything you can actually put it right there, so something like that. So it would simply mean that there is two backslash n plus print line before in between world and I love Java. So if we are going to run the program, we would have two, one, two, and then I love Java will be displayed. All right, that's for print and print line. The another print statement or output statement is actually printf. So system that out. By the way, uh, recall that system is a class. I mean, Java lingua franca is class, object, and method. So this is basically the class, then the out is an object, and then print line are actually methods. Another another methods inside of system.out is actually printf. This printf stands for print formatting. This comes from actually C, no? Printf and scanf. So if you are familiar with C and C++ or C rather, so we use printf for displaying a specific certain statement. So let's say for an instance, the use of printf is actually like this. So if you have like num is equal to 4 or 45, you can actually the you can actually say like this: the number is, you cannot do something like the number is something like num, meaning you are actually displaying the number is 45. But instead, yeah, it's the same. But for printf or formatting, you can actually do something like, sige, let's ano na lang. So we have num, and then for another way is, let's say print is percent d, and that is you don't use the plus concatenation operator, but you use the comma, and then it means that the number is percent %d, and then you're trying to display num. So we'll put a backslash n right here because it doesn't have it's not print line. But if you are going to use, let's say print line, what happened? Okay, so print line, the number is percent %d, and you note that in printf, you can actually use the same way as print line, but if you're using printf and you're going to use this formatting, you cannot use that in print line. Am I right? Yeah, so basically it's like that. So if we run the program, we would have the same output. So the goals are, I mean, the syntax are different, but the goals are just the same. Another advantage of having print formatting is when you have, let's say, double num1. Let's try it. Say, let's have double n1 is equal to 45, and n2 is equal to, let's say, 100, and you are going to divide them. So let's say, yeah, so we are going to divide the number. So the quotient is percent f. Okay, so let's say for an instance, n1 divided by n2. So obviously, if we are going to, if you are going to use print line, let's say print ln for this one, so the quotient is, let's say, we'll use plus sign. Okay, so the only difference is that I know, wait, from backslash n. All right, the difference is that, as you can see, the formatting for our quotient is, for at line 9 using print line is actually uh, automatically taking out the decimal places. So let's try some other values. Yun. So that's it. That's what I'm trying to say. So you don't have a control over a certain decimal point if you will be using a print line. So how can it be possible, and how can we do that using printf? So printf is special because you can actually format your your value just like this. If you want to only display two decimal places for that value, so you can actually percent point 2f. You can ask, meaning it's two decimal places for the value. Okay, so you cannot do that in the quotient is let's say percent point 2f using print line. So let's try if it works in no. So it you cannot do that in print line. It's only in the printf or print formatting. Okay, so these are some of the output that you can do. So these are some of the output statement. Basically, for it's used for uh, running program in a console. Um, for how to know this one, percent %d for integer, percent %f for float, percent %s for string, and there are actually a lot of access. Do we call it as access specifier? Yeah, it's access specifier. You can actually look for access specifier in Java. Okay, so now let's have this our plain output. So what if we are going to take inputs from the user? So basically, you can declare any value there. So let's say, initialize a value. Let's say num1 and num2, and we are going to add the num1 and num1 and num2, and entered by our user. So to do that, we have to have an input statement. So in Java, you have to declare just in Python. This one is so easy, but in Java, you have to really declare an input statement. So uh, for you to be able to use an input statement in a console base in Java, you can use scanner. So scanner is actually a class under java.util or utility package. So you'll have to declare this one. So import Java that, so this is the very first time we use the word or the keyword import. So import means you are trying to use a class under a specific package or library. So let's say, for an instance, util.scanner. So that's it. So scanner is under java.utility package. So you can now create an object for our scanner. So input is equal to new, pointing anything. Again, these are just object. So scanner, and then let's have here system dot in. So what would it mean? So by the way, if you don't include an import statement, your program will give you an error. Just in case you forgot to declare, you can actually mouse over the scanner and click on a certain recommendation. By clicking that import java.util scanner, you now have your program is now going to work. So here I'm going to explain. So again, lingua franca of Java is scanner, and then lingua franca of Java is a class followed by the object and then the method. So yeah, this is a method. Particularly, this is called constructor. Okay. We will talk about it in advanced programming. Uh, as you can see, we have here system.in. Earlier, we have just used system.out. Means we try to display an out, a string or a number or an information to our screen. That's system.out. And then For this one, we expect to have our input trying to wait for the entry from keyboard. So it says that it tries to have the entry from your keyboard. So meaning it's going to be typed by the user. So system.in or start with input. You can again change this to console, change to X, okay? But more importantly is in Java, what I could recommend to each and everyone is that you give a meaningful variable name, okay, just as we do giving names for our loved ones, our pets, something that really matters, someone who really matters to us. Like for an instance, if you are going to name if you name your pets, we normally name our pets our pets like meaning because the name of our pets is like there's a because it's meaningful to us. Like we name our pets into like Raya, into Kodo, because these names are meaningful to us, or something like it's because they are good to hear. Okay, so in the same similar manner in programming, it would be better if you are going to declare your variables in a meaningful way, just as we do in naming our pets. So if this is if this one is like an input statement, then put it an input. If you're trying to ask for number, so you name it number. If you are going to like accept an age value, you define or you declare it as an age. Okay, if you name it as like grade, I mean if you try to ask the user a grade, then you name it as grade. So something like meaningful. Don't declare variables like x, y, z, a, b, c, d. But yeah, it's good. It's okay. Especially x, y, z, and I, a, b, c are actually a good variables because they are used in mathematics to represent numbers. Anyway, but as much as possible, please do declare your variables like meaningful variables to what it actually represents and what data it is going to maintain. Okay, so we have now, going back to our program, we are now have here an input statement. Okay, so to get value from the user, of course, we have to have like num1 is equal to input that. So now there are certain methods here inside of this class. So class, object, and then methods. You have here next int, next byte, next short. As you can see, uh, it has actually methods with corresponds to each and every type or primitive type. So if you are going to maintain num1 of type int, since we declare this num1 and num2 as int, then therefore we will be using this as we will be calling the next int instead of next byte or next short. If in case you call the next double rather than next int, and going back to line 5, you declared your num1 to be of int, therefore it will give you an error. So you'll have to, sorry, you'll have to use next int. So you do the same for num2. So you have now two numbers, and you can now run your program. But before that, let's say what we are going to do with these numbers. So let's say, sorry, we are going to get the sum. So the sum is, let's say, num1 plus num2. All right, so I'm sorry, so I just missed one character. So when we run the program, so oops, wait. So as you can see here, in our console, it doesn't have anything, right? Like uh, as information or a certain instruction of how or what will the user do. So, but basically, this is actually trying to like it's waiting for you to input a statement. Let's say you are going to enter 3, enter 5, and then the sum is 8. So if you don't want the user to be confused on what he or she will do, you'll have to have an output statement. So that's where output statement comes in. So basically, an output statement is something that will tell the user what to do, and after that, there's a process. You can actually give out information after you process a certain number. So which is that's the essence of programming. You ask for the user, and then what they should be entering, and then after that, the expected output should be given to the users as a confirmation that the process is being done. Okay, so we have here enter, or let's say input first number. Okay, you can also do the same for in between, like input second number. So something like input first number. So you have your first number. So 4 and then 7. The sum is 11. You can also do backslash t. Okay, as you can see, if you are perfectionist, you want 4 and 7 like they are formatted well. So you can actually do backslash t. So it's three spaces or tabs. So it's something like this one. So we have 5 and then 8, and it's neat and so clean. So the sum is 13. You can also do like input to numbers or integers. Separated to be complete, separated by or with space. You can also do like that. So input to numbers. So numbers, yeah. So input to numbers separated with space. Let's say 5 and 6. The sum is 11. You can also do that here. Okay. So take note. In As you can see, we have here plus sign as a concatenation operator. Actually, there in Java, plus sign it means it's a concatenation operator. Also, at the same time, it is an arithmetic operator. So sometimes our compiler is going to be confused if you do like this kind of declaration. Example, the sum is, and then you don't put a because later on we are going to discuss the operator precedence. So what it will actually have here is, let's say if you're going to enter 5 and 6, the sum is 11, but right here the sum is 5 and 6. So it's like it actually concatenates, the sum is then 5 and then concatenate to 6. So it's like it is the first one that is being read is the string, then it will concatenate the next number to it before adding them. So that's why the sum is 5 and 6. So actually, if we run the program, we have 5 and 6. So as you can see, the sum is 11 and the sum is 56, and I'm actually correct. So that's actually the parang what they call this one. It's yeah, it's this it's a that's one thing you should look into. Okay. However, if you are going to, let's try to have minus or the difference. So the difference. So in this case, you have to explicitly what they call group them. So in such a way that num1 uh, should be num1 and num2 it should be executed first before concatenating them to the differences. So in that case, You have here 5 and 7. And so the sum is 12. The difference is negative 2. You can also do like this. So let's remove this one. So you can also do like this, the sum of num1. Okay, in Python it's like this, no? I mean it's something like this one. But here, since we are in Java, the sum of num1 and let's say num2 is, yeah. Okay, so let's run the program. So we have here 6 and 8. So the sum is 14. The difference is negative 2. The sum of 6 and 8 is 14. So that's it for basic input and output. Now, if you are going to accept like other information or other date entries, let's say personal info. So you can also do something like this. So we have here, uh, start with the scanner. So scanner input equals new scanner. So system dot in. All right. So let's say you are going to ask the user the name, gender, and then you'll be also asking the age, and then okay, things like that. So you can have this one input that next. Oh yeah, so we have here input that next. So there are actually two. If you are going to use next, next means it will only get the first word. So basically, if you have two word names, let's say your name is Anna Marie. So when you use input that next, it will only get Anna. It will actually omit, or it will actually exclude Marie. So let's try to have a sample. So your name is name. So Anna Marie. So your name is Anna. So that is why if you want, you can have next line. So let's say enter your name. So let's say Anna Marie. So you have your name is Anna Marie. That's the difference between next and next line. So basically, we have here, uh, let's say print, enter your name. So you have input that next line. So it will get the entire line. So no matter how many names you do have, and then let's copy paste this one, and we are going to, let's say, ask for the gender. So this should be next because again, gender has only one word, male, either male or female. And then let's change this to gender, and then for age, let's it will get the it will only get the first word. Anyway, gender has only for one word. So enter your age. So age is equal to input that next. So it's error. Its next line is still error. So you should have used int. So for integer value or data type. So see, Java is like that. You have to really static as it's like you explicitly type the define a variable of what specific type is it going to maintain, or it is going to maintain. So basically, you have your name is name, and you are a gender, you you are age, uh, years old. Okay, so let's try to. You can actually uh, do that. I mean, enter that to the next line. So as long as if there is a concatenation operator along with it. So let's say name, Marcel Baste, and your gender, male, and then age is sweet 16. So your name is Marcel Baste, and you are a male, you are 16 years old. Okay, so that's it for basic input and output, and I hope you have learned you have learned the basic input and output for this tutorial, and thank you guys for listening. Have a great day. See you guys next tutorial. Bye bye.